Hi, I'm Laure.
I'm Madi.
Welcome back to another episode of Beyond the Barricade. This week, we have Gayle.
We love her.
We love her so much. So to kind of bring everybody up to speed, I met Gayle back in December.
Let's tell them who Gayle is.
Oh my God. Yes.
She's incredible. We've covered that.
How do you define Gayle?
She is a jack of all trades.
She really is.
She does
master
everything.
of all.
Master of all.
Yeah.
She does everything. So we interviewed her while she was tour managing Between You and Me.
Yep.
Yes. Yeah. She
does a lot.
She's worked with so many bands.
Yeah.
But that was the tour that we got to talk to her on.
Yeah. They did a quick little Dallas stop. And
one of my favorite venues that I've actually only been to twice because
I think more shows need to come.
Yeah. I love it. At Sons of Herman Hall. We love it. It was great. But that is who Gayle is. She was tour managing Between You and Me when we got to interview her. She has done so much stuff, which we will talk about in our episode. But also, okay, do you want to talk kind of how you got connected with her, how we met Gayle?
Yes. So I met Gayle back in December, went to the Finer Things shows. It was a great anniversary, 10 years of it with State Champs, and she was working it. And I remember instantly meeting her backstage, and she was it was honestly we've known each other forever. And
I felt that way during our interview, and that was my first time meeting Gayle.
Exactly. That's just the kind of person that she is. Nobody's a stranger to her. If you are there, you're there for a reason, and she's so welcoming and so kind. And so I met her then, and immediately after meeting her, I remember thinking we are going to talk to her for the podcast. Mm-hmm. And now I think when I came back and I talked to her, I was like, we're talking to Gayle.
I was about to say, I'm pretty sure that was because I obviously asked how the show was.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that was one of the first things you talked about was getting to meet Gayle and how cool she was.
Yeah, it wasn't about the show itself.
Yeah, no, it was Gayle. It was Gayle.
It was Gayle, yeah. So we became friends. We've been constantly talking about random things, just not even music stuff. And then we found out she was on tour and they were coming to Dallas, and we're like, hey, can we talk to you for our podcast? We introduced the idea and what we were doing, and she was so excited.
Yeah, and she was technically our first interview. I know this is our second one that we're releasing, but she was the first one that we actually recorded with.
Yeah, she was the first person we recorded with, so sorry the video is a little wonky. We were two girls
figuring things out, so
yes.
We had some technical difficulties. But
technical difficulties on the camera side. We have grown since then.
Yeah. The audio sounds great.
The audio sounds great. We were just talking about it. We just listened back to it, and we're like, her voice is so soothing.
So soothing.
So yeah, we talk about a lot of things in this episode. But it's a good one. Mm-hmm. Honestly, yeah. I love talking to Gayle. I love her just story of how she started. It's very different, I think, to people in today's kind of scene, which is great. And yeah, it's a really good episode.
We'll have a lot more to say afterward, but
yeah,
she's incredible. We're so excited for you to hear our interview with her.
Yeah, enjoy. Well, hi. So we're here with Gayle Alquizar. She is honestly one of the most kind people I've ever met in the industry. I feel like she is a fantastic tour manager, human being extraordinaire. You probably have seen her fishing out bassists with from the crowd. She's currently tour managing with Between You and Me. She's been with Issues, State Champs, Motionless in White, and Coin. Hi. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for being here. So we wanted to rewind really quick just to get to know a little bit about you. What do you think, or who do you think, if you had to think of your first band that you were into, you were a fan of, what band is that?
Fall Out Boy.
Tell us more.
I think that was the first time I was ever able to choose my own music. I was listening to Shania Twain, Celine Dion in the car because that's what my mom loved.
Yes.
And of course, those are still tracks that are near and dear to me. They're so good. Mm-hmm. But I heard Grand Theft Autumn on MySpace. Mm-hmm. And I was like, guitars.
Yes.
And like these people are young. It's not classic rock.
Yeah.
I thought it was so fresh and cool, and the melodies just like pulled me in. I loved the aesthetic, and I was able to choose my own music that I liked. And now they're still a huge part of my life, very adjacent to everything that I work in. And they feel like a dream that's just like right there. Like I'm always going to keep chasing.
Yeah. Do you remember the first time you saw them?
I do, because I was older. It was after they reunited.
Oh, after the hiatus.
It was Save Rock and Roll.
Yep.
Yeah.
Whoa.
And I followed them after that. And that was like a wake-up call. I was like, I need to start supporting live music again.
Yeah.
Because like my bands are like starting to break up. I was in college, I was in high school, and I was like, I'll just catch the next show. I'll catch the next show. Because, you know, I started going at 15.
Yeah.
So at some point I was like, I don't have the money to do this. This is what I can save money on. I was in college. Then I was like, there's no more My Chem. There's no more Fall Out Boy.
Dude, What a Catch Donnie came out and I was like in tears. I'm like, this is not okay. Everything's in shambles.
Right. Correct.
Oh,
so
God.
that was a wake-up call for me. COVID was a wake-up call for me.
I was going to say, I feel like COVID did the exact same thing where all of a sudden it was taken away for like a year and a half, if not more than that. And then you realize that it's like not always going to be there, or there, you know, you never know what's going to happen.
You never know when it's going to come back. And you never know when you're going to feel that feeling again.
Yeah.
Or see your friends again. So I was like, let's quit my very cushy, stable job and chase a pipe dream, huh?
Hell yes. That's like perfect catalyst too.
Yeah.
Next question was like, do you know if was there a certain like instance or a band that really kicked you into gear and was like, you know what, I'm gonna fucking do it. I'm gonna chase this dream and just go out.
Look me in the eye right now if you're watching on video.
Yep.
A band called Northbound is putting out an album called Juniper.
Yes.
And Northbound is the reason I tour.
No way.
Yeah.
How'd you get started with them?
John Fraser is my best friend. And when I would have 4 days off from work, when I was a nurse, I would do like 4 days on, 4 days off. So he had like a little weekender and he was like, just get in the van with me. I sold merch. And then every time he would go out, I would go with him.
Yeah.
And then all my friends were like, this was pre-COVID.
Yeah. What year was this? Do you think?
2018.
Okay.
And you know, I started hanging out with Derek from Champs a lot. And I was getting a lot of FOMO.
Yeah.
A lot of FOMO because
you want to be with your friends.
I want to be with my friends.
Yeah.
The shows were so fun. And I was like, what, 25?
Yeah.
And I hated my career. Like I woke up every morning anxious, which by the way, shout out to like nurses in the healthcare field because it was too much for me.
Yeah.
And I got really lucky that John showed me this world because when shows started coming back, then bands lost crew. People got real jobs.
People had kids.
Yeah.
People
decided
domesticated.
they realized they didn't like being on the road.
Yeah.
Some people did. And I realized I wanted to be on the road.
Yeah.
So Champs took me in, and I guess it was a tandem of Northbound showing me the ropes and State Champs realizing like I would have worked so hard for them. You know, those are my boys.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I would have done anything to make a show happen for
the
them.
Champs fams.
Yeah.
They are great peoples.
One of the things that we really like talking, or why we really started this podcast, is we're so interested in people that work in the music industry because it's almost a given that you're a hardcore fan of music if you're in this industry. So the next thing that we kind of wanted to talk to you about too is, do you think being such like a strong music fan and the bands that you listen to and the music that you're a fan of, did that give you any like insight or perspective into like the job you do now or the way you approach the job you do now or any way or like why you wanted to segue into working in the industry?
That's a great question. I would say I don't know if the music I listen to really helps the way that I work, but I think that it helps me attach meaning because, you know, there were people behind the scenes doing what I'm doing for the bands that I loved. Yeah. So I'm helping fulfill that for people who love this band. You know, I loved Starting Line growing up and just like romanticizing all these feelings of being on the road. They've had songs like touring, Say Anything, you know,
oh my God,
stuff like that. And I think about moments that I have on tour and relate it to those songs. And I think it's more of just an emotional attachment more than like what drives my work ethic.
Yeah.
But it's definitely there.
Yeah,
For sure.
I joke about being a music hater because I mean, music is ever changing. I'm not going to act like I know everything, but I am a boomer at heart. I'm a boomer at heart. So when I hear new
that's
songs,
the title of this interview. Gayle, a boomer at heart.
when I hear new music and like it's catchy, it's TikTok, I'm always like, will it last though? Like I love being a music hater, but I love that people are still creating no matter what.
Oh, for sure. I feel like, I mean, I don't want to bring it all about COVID, but tying it back to COVID, like I feel like that was such like a moment in history where people, they couldn't obviously tour. And so they're like, we're just going to throw it out there. And to see the bands like actually making it and doing it, like Knox, for example, he's like,
I actually, one of my friends who I just saw a few days ago, Haley Mewborn, she is a photographer and she's been going out with Knox. And she just told me that like the shows have been great. He's selling out his ad mat. And, you know, that's what I love to see. I love to see when the music translates to the live show.
I will be like, the defender of the people, like people are like, oh my gosh, that music sucks. Like it's a TikTok song because he had that song Sneakers and it was a huge TikTok song.
Okay, but yeah, that was catchy as hell.
But yeah, it was a good song. Like, fuck you guys, this is a great song. And now look at him. Just saying.
And here we are.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to knock it if there's proof.
Exactly.
And like, he got it.
And I mean, it's kind of like, I feel like the kids who weren't, I say the kids, I'm like, okay.
I know. I have a problem with that too.
I'm like, the kids, when
you go to other genres and you say the kids, they're like, but our audience isn't really kids. And I'm like, that's not what I mean.
Yeah, that's not, you don't get it. You don't get it. But like, it's like they almost had they had a new sense of like something to prove. And so it's really interesting to see the ones like fighting for it. It kind of reminds me of like the early like pop punk scene where it's like they had like, you know, just trying to get out of like their hometown kind of fight. They're like that dog in them. That one.
That's how I feel about Byam right now. Like you're from across the world.
Yep.
And I mean, I was telling you guys earlier that even though we're not selling out a lot of these venues, like the nights where we have 250 kids, it feels like we have 500.
Yeah.
And
the energy's there.
It doesn't matter how many people are there. Like these guys are putting on a show.
They are.
And my crew is putting on a show.
I love it.
That's what I love. I love the grind. I love the dedication. And, you know, JT, my singer, has been saying to me, like, you know, sometimes they're not going to be good shows. They can't all be good shows. But what matters is we're playing a show at all today.
Exactly. And yeah, because like we said, like you never know when it's going to be gone.
Right.
So you got to fucking make them count. It's so fucking cheesy. I hate that it's like, you never know when it's going to be your last, but it's so fucking true.
Yeah, but we're away from home and like a lot of us are homesick. Like what's the point in falling into it and playing a bad show, moping around? Like we're going to put it all out on the stage.
Yeah. You mentioned being homesick and you're on the road a lot. You said to us earlier, how long have you been gone?
February 13th. So it's like a month and maybe a half at this point now.
You're ending in California. You live in Florida and then you're going, I'm sorry to like bring this all up again.
No, it's okay.
Like whatever. You're going back on tour across seas. What is the struggle like going from, having that high of a show and then you're in the lull? Like what keeps you going? And don't fucking say every night.
No way. I will tell you right now, there have been times that we have been humbled. Like the champ shows.
Yes.
So we did the 3 back-to-back shows of 10 Years of the Finer Things. And I was driving us in a minivan.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
And we were staying in Secaucus. So our show was in
New Jersey. Okay, hold on. Wait, let me paint the map really quick. Everybody who's like, oh yeah, we're playing a New York City show. They're not staying in New York City. They are staying in Secaucus, New Jersey, across the fucking bridge, like 30 minutes out. It's not glamorous.
Listen, it is part of my job to save money.
That's the quote, everyone in New Jersey. Save money, live better, New Jersey.
I don't know if it really did in the end because we were in the New York City in the holidays. But that also is a part of the picture that you must remember.
Yes.
I'm driving State Champs and crew in a minivan. By the way, Chrysler Pacifica, I be whipping that.
Oh yeah, you
Love
got
her.
to. You got
Love
to.
her.
Yeah.
And there was also construction going on at the time.
It's New York City.
During the holidays in New York City. So the Lincoln Tunnel was backed up. Can I curse?
Yes.
Backed
absolutely.
up like a motherfucker.
Yes.
And it took us what should have been a 17-minute drive home. 2.5 hours. And how incredible is it to play a sold out show in the middle of New York City, celebrating your record that helped you make it 10 years ago.
10 years, yeah.
And
In
you're
your home
sitting
state.
in a minivan, like I'm
real humble.
I've got my hand like on my head, just trying to make it through, not letting people cut me off, honking my horn. All the guys are sharing like one bag of French fries.
Yeah.
Like we're hungry and tired.
You would not think that it's the state champs
No.
that everybody knows and loves. I'm like,
What
these
a way to
boys,
end the night.
They really brought the 10 years of the finer things back to the home.
Yeah.
Like,
And everybody was so stoked. Everybody loved the show. And then you're just sitting in traffic for 2 hours.
the glamorous side of things.
But what kept us going?
What keeps you going? We went on a tangent there. So sorry.
I mean, honestly,
We
you
had to
had
paint
to
the
know.
picture. Yeah.
What kept me going is like, I love working for my friends.
Yeah.
I'm very lucky in the position I am. But working for state champs is a dream come true because they're just people that I respect on a personal level, on a working level. And then you can come in. Don't apologize.
Don't apologize. Hello. No, we didn't put a sign on the door. Hi.
And I even forgot what I was talking about.
We were talking about your love for state champs.
Oh, yeah. So
What keeps you
even
going?
with between you and me, this is very situational with these two. But what keeps me going when we have a rough show or a humbling experience is like the culture that we have.
Yeah.
We're a family. You know, we check on each other. We make sure everybody is like doing okay. That the amount of work is split up. Like we have somebody who's doing like 4 different jobs.
Yeah.
And I want to make sure that he's okay because touring is fun. It shouldn't make you feel like you're drowning. And going back to answer the question, TLDR, it's the culture.
Yeah.
Like it just matters in your camp.
It does.
Even with Motionless, even with Coin, like just having human dignity and understanding that the people you're working with are people
Yeah.
makes a show happen every
so
night.
fucking true. Yeah.
To kind of like piggyback off of that too, one of the things that we wanted to ask you as well is it's such a weird balance between being a big fan of music and now working inside of it. So we kind of wanted to flip it to where do you have a way that you kind of like balance that as far as like keeping the like love of live music and like the fan aspect of it when it's also your job? Is that something you struggle with or is it
100%.
easy? Okay.
Yeah.
Because I love going to a live show. I love putting on a sick show, but
Can I tell a story?
Yes.
Yeah.
Really quick.
Tell the story.
You do. And it
Yes.
shows.
This is why she's on the podcast right now.
Yes. So it honestly, my first time meeting you was at the Champs Finer Things show. And I was just kind of like standing on the side with you and I took a picture of you because you were just fucking enjoying yourself. You were like, I'm having a great time. This is like the last night. The crowd was feeling it. And then I like looked down and then I looked back up and you're stage diving into the crowd. And I was like, she fucking gets it. I was like, hell yeah. Like that's what I feel like the end of a tour should look like, even though it was like a short run. But like, that's what it's about. Like you're having fun doing your job. You do your job fucking well.
Thank you.
And so it's like that it should be show. You shouldn't have to be so uptight and stressed about everything and like
this is a cool fucking job.
Yeah.
There's no reason anybody should have a bad time.
Exactly.
Like it's very important to me that we have a good culture on the road because we could all be with our families.
Yeah.
But instead we're creating our own family and putting on a show every night for like live music.
Yeah.
How fucking cool is it
It's
that
so fucking cool.
my best friends are now from across the world because they made a cool record?
It's the dream. Who can say that?
Right.
Yeah. So fucking cool.
I literally, when I heard Armageddon, Tyler showed me the record. Which,
Checks out.
Yeah.
Yep.
I was like, this is fucking good.
Yeah. I hate
And
that.
Armageddon is good. You know what? Quote me on that. Armageddon is good.
Yes.
And then they were on that Bearings YC tour. And, you know, Young Culture have been my friends
Yeah.
since before I even thought about touring. So went to go see them, saw Biam play, and I was like, wow, they put on a sick show. And I told my husband on the way home from Orlando, I said, maybe one day I'll work for them.
Shut up.
Yeah. And now here we are. And biggest pains in my asses. I'm just kidding. I love them so much. They are great.
We love it.
We were answering something and I forgot.
How you balance being a fan and working in the industry.
You balance it by stage diving.
So this is the thing though. I want to keep going to shows, but going to a show on an off day is the most daunting thing ever.
Sure.
Do you just like observe everything and you're like
I debate half the day. If I'm going to go to a place willingly with loud music, you just want quiet.
The one day you don't have to.
The one day I don't have to listen to a snare drum and I'm going to go willingly. This is insane. But, you know, for bands that I love, for friends that I love seeing, I would. We all saw Mom Jeans when they were in LA. And then they had an off day when we were in Albany and they came to our show, you know? There's
collective awe.
I don't know if you could tell, but I just love friendship.
Exactly.
I love friendship.
We're all about friendship. Yes.
I think that's one of the coolest things about the music industry, though. And we've talked about this countless times, how I feel like as soon as you get your foot in the door and you start meeting people, it's such a tight-knit community.
Yeah.
And it's such a just like everyone knows everyone once you kind of just get a little foot in the door there.
Especially both music photographers, we actually didn't even become friends until we were like, wait, we've shot so many shows together and like we know of each other, but then we're like, wait a second.
One of the shows being a Champs show. That was like one of the first shows we realized that we both shot and we didn't know each other at the time.
State Champs.
But you know, when
sponsored
you're
by
like
State Champs.
this podcast is sponsored by State Champs.
No.
No, it's not.
No, it's
they
not.
Can't afford us.
I'm just they're putting out their own shit.
When you're in the pit, I'm sure like, you know, you're just focused on like what you see. You want to enjoy the show. You want to snap the show. You want to get the good moments. I'm sure it's really hard to like realize who's around you.
And you only have three songs, so you're very
three
focused
songs, no flash.
Three songs.
That's the one.
And then L'Oreal takes her camera into the pit.
Yes,
because
we all
that.
do.
Yeah, that's insane.
Scary, but you know what? Living life on the edge, I respect.
Let me tell you, Beartooth in the crowd, like crowd surfing with my camera was the most fun thing I've ever done.
Wow. Congrats to you.
It was so much fun.
I could imagine that kids were getting washed at that show.
They had such a good time, especially for
such
Texas.
a good environment. The crowd was insane. It was so fun.
I walked in the pit and they had like a tiny circle, whatever. And there was this guy, no shirt on. He's like, she's a photographer. And I was like, yes. And then he was ready. He's like, do you need up? What do you need? And I'm like, yes, I do need up.
There have been... there's this weird trend that's been happening at the Biam shows. Just a lot of guys taking their shirts off and swinging them over their heads.
Love that.
It started in Salt Lake City, last place I imagined it to happen. Wow. But if you see it happening tonight, just don't get alarmed.
I love it.
It happens.
Embrace them.
That's kind of leading on to my next question. So I feel like, you know, you see things with a different eye, obviously, because you are behind the scenes working it. Even now, just like experiencing a different show, you're just watching and observing, taking notes of things.
You can never just go to a show.
You can never just go to a show. Is there anything that you try to do in particular as your role now, like being a tour manager, to make like the fans' experiences any sort of better? That's a word. That's a way to say that sentence. Yeah, that's a phrase. Anything that you do to make the fans' experience just more memorable to them?
Enhance the fan experience.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well,
do you have like any story? Like you can say anything, really.
I mean, it's a lot of little things that just add on to each other. You know, I like to make sure that security is always kind.
So fucking good. Yeah.
In Charlotte,
it's important, and
we did not have a great experience. And I'm not going to get into it, but Bassie and I almost did get into a fight. Not me. I mean, me and Bassie together.
Yes. Yes.
Against
collectively,
not each other.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you're there to to make sure kids are safe. I don't like to see security roughing anybody up. I make sure set lists have the date and place of where we're at because it's,
I love you for that.
One, it's a sheet of paper. I know it. But like it could mean so much more to somebody who's in the front row.
Gayle loves a printer.
I love a printer. I print out where we're at just in a slight chance that my boys forget where we're at today.
It happens.
I love a logo. Love printing a logo.
She loves a labeler.
I have many a set list printed out that I've gotten from shows in my office, and it pisses me off when I get a set list and it's just the songs. I'm like, okay, there's no
we
date
personalize it.
Yeah, you need it. You need it.
Going back to Knox, his little set list, he always had a picture of Ed Sheeran somewhere on his set list because people would be like, you're like a young Ed Sheeran just because he had red hair. And so when a fan showed me she got a set list, I took a picture of it because in the top left corner is just Ed Sheeran.
But really transparent.
Yes.
Hey? Yeah.
Yep.
With Loveless, I used to put like a little funny meme in the back. And then on the last night of tour, just for morale, I put like a group picture of us.
Oh,
yeah.
I love that so much.
I love doing that. I love just letting the fans see a little bit of our life.
Yeah.
You know, I like to encourage the guys talking to a few fans. But I am very, very passionate about boundaries. You know, being on the road is hard enough. If my guys need time, I don't like when people wait by the door. So I do have to put my foot down there. But like if we're in passing and we see like a group of kids, I love to just talk to them, ask them if they had like a good night. You know, honestly, they've been giving me bracelets lately.
Aww.
Yeah.
Bracelets
that's a trend now.
I'm here for the
It's so
bracelet
fun.
trend. I don't care. There's so many
It's so
haters.
fun. I love it.
Yeah.
It's cute.
I like it.
It's cute. I gotta give it to them.
It's
It's really
bad.
cute.
Yeah, for sure. If you're taking time to make a bracelet, I'll wear it.
Yeah. It's really nice to see that the fans care so much.
They do.
So the least I could do is just personalize a little bit of things that could go home to people at the end of the day.
I love that.
That's amazing. Favorite tour memory?
Oh yeah. This is hard.
Yep. Favorite tour memory, and you can plug whatever you want.
Favorite tour memory. It's okay. This one's a rogue one.
Oh, God.
So Northbound. This was a Northbound tour, and my dear friend Sterling Gavinsky and I had to. Do you know Sterling? He used to live here in Dallas.
Yeah.
He's happy, all right. Yeah. We had to drive from Pensacola to Oklahoma City, which is a 14-hour drive to make it to the next show, which was a house show. You know,
Love
like it was a DIY tour, but
Amazing.
you know, we were like, we're gonna make the next show. Like, why even do this if we're not gonna play the shows?
Yep.
Everybody else went to sleep because it was torrential downpour. Instead of us stopping or taking a nap somewhere, we drove all 14 hours together through the night, chain smoking cigarettes, and listening to a podcast on how Charles Manson is a CIA asset. And and the government was testing LSD on him. So that's a little bit of
God bless Charles Manson. Honestly,
doing God's work. Don't quote me on that. But
hey, if it's on a podcast, it has to be true.
That was one of my first memories where I was like, yeah, the road is rogue. Like we stopped maybe once for a piss, and that's it.
Yes. Love it.
Gross.
I love it.
Gross.
But you did it.
I did it.
Yeah.
And now I'm here with, I guess, my favorite tour memory would have to be just like London in we played Underworld and sold it out, and the energy was insane. I think the only thing that could have made it better that night was if our guitarist was physically there. But we propped him up a picture of him on an iPad on stage the whole night.
That's amazing. Again, another Gayle original.
Just a little touch. To be there.
Of course.
It was important to me that he was there. But that was a great memory and insane energy. So thank you to everybody who was there.
Yes.
That's amazing.
What do you got going on? What can people be on the lookout? And how can they find you?
More tours.
Yeah.
If you're a band, hire me.
Hire Gayle. Yes.
You will probably see me around. I don't really have any summer going on, which It's kind of nice.
I was going to say.
Kind of nice to think about. But you will see me in November, hopefully. But I don't want to be the one to announce that.
No.
So keep your eyes peeled.
Keep your eyes peeled. Follow Gayle.
And listen to Juniper by Northbound when it drops.
Yes.
Between You and Me is also dropping an EP on April 5th.
Yep.
Oh, like
3
days?
Yeah. So we're playing Chain Reaction on April 6th, and that is the release show. What do you need, Tyler?
I was trying to not.
Hi, Tyler.
Hello.
Hi.
Looking for water.
Right over here, bud.
Come get water.
You
Come
have to
over.
walk through the camera,
You have to walk
though.
through. Come on over.
gotta
And
walk.
introduce. Nope, you can't go around.
But that one is
You
yours.
gotta come through.
Yeah, that one's yours.
Tyler, can I plug anything in for Home Safe? They're my favorite band, analog rock band
Yes.
of the
There you
century.
go.
Come here. Come here, buddy.
Come here, Tyler. Yes,
Come on, hop
absolutely.
on in.
Oh boy.
Come. Hi.
Hello. Hi.
I'm Laura.
Tyler.
Nice to meet you.
Madison.
Madison. Nice to meet you guys.
Nice to meet you.
Hey, what you got going on this year?
Home Safe has
Look
no
into that
plans
camera
right now.
there.
Oh, that one. So we have no plans right now, but we just put out a
These
new
are
EP.
no fans.
Yeah, it's called What Did You Find Out? It's 4 songs. They're all really good. She really likes the song Hold On. You should listen to that.
I do.
Home Safe IL on social. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, there we go. We love it. Yay. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
Oh my gosh, this is so much fun.
This is amazing.
This was a lot of fun.
It
Thank you
was.
for having me.
Yeah,
I can't wait to see more.
So that was Gayle.
That was Gayle.
I feel so bad. So that's Gayle.
So that's her. I hope you guys enjoyed meeting her, essentially, because she's incredible. If you didn't already know who Gayle was, now you do. And
Yes.
you are a better person because of it.
We just made you guys way better people than you actually are because you listened to that episode.
You're welcome.
Go follow Gayle on everything because she's such a fucking cool person. Yeah, I loved talking to her and I loved listening back to it,
Yes.
honestly.
And it's just like you said in the intro too, like she is so good at just like as soon as you meet her, you feel like friends. Like we could have talked to her for hours and we kind of got to hang out with her and like walk around the venue. We took some photos of her before the show, obviously enjoyed the show and got to kind of just watch her do her thing, which that was such a fun experience too. She just so genuinely loves her job and you can tell when you're just observing her.
I don't know if we said it in the podcast. We might have said it towards the end, but she loves the printer.
Oh, she does.
She really does. And it's so funny to me. But I think one thing that I took out of that whole episode and just talking to her and knowing her is that she values community so much.
Oh, so much.
And just like the camp that she's in, it's all like everyone's there for like the same purpose. And it's very like the community that they build, it's so strong and it like, I don't know, the feeling it like radiates like through her.
Yeah.
And I want to be a part of it.
Yeah. It's so just the way that she talks about any band that she has worked with or, you know, any camp she's been a part of and even just like the guys in Between You and Me, it just so genuinely is like a group of friends that are all kind of working together to put on a show. And you can tell in the show, you can tell in just like the environment that they create.
They have a good time.
They have a great time.
There's a moment in that tour and I mean, that show set up where she's like sitting like behind, like she's sitting at like the kick drum because the kick drum is like moving and she's just like, this is what I have to do for this one song. And I'm like, that's so funny. But yeah, like no matter like what your title is, you're there for the night. And so you're going to do things like outside of your like role technically.
And she is just like the perfect example of that, of just like whatever needs to get done, she's going to do it.
Exactly. Yeah. You're in the team. You're on the team. You're part of the, what is that one? Nope.
What?
Oh God. You're a part of the team. You're here until the routine is clean.
Oh, I've never heard that before. I like it though.
It's from Dance Moms.
Oh, cute. Wow. I used to be a big Dance Moms fan actually.
Yeah, me too.
Wow. Not as big as you apparently. Oops.
But we had so much fun talking to Gayle. We had so much fun at that show. And she's honestly one of those people where if you see her at any show that she's, you know, tour managing or even a part of or attending, if she ends up going to the show, say hi to her. She's, yes, working, but she's also there to make sure that everybody's having a good time. And she's having a good time, I think, while doing it. And it shows. And we appreciate her so much. And it was a nice, like, like, I don't know, our first kind of like peek into that side of the industry. But it was very refreshing knowing that like they're still having fun.
Oh yeah. So much fun. Yeah. And like we kind of mentioned in the intro, she was the first interview that we recorded with, and she just made it. So she was just like such a good one to start this podcast
She really
with.
was.
She was so easy. Like we just keep saying, like she was just so easy to talk to. She's just such a genuine. She's just such like a genuine person.
Yeah. We love Gayle, and you know, we're very excited to just kind of keep this dream going. She really kind of like sparked like this whole thing. We were talking to her a little bit about the whole like heart behind like our podcast and what we're doing, and she was all for it.
Oh, she was so excited.
She was like, that's so amazing, and there needs to be like more of this. And we're like, we're trying
that, which made us feel obviously so good. Which it was just the biggest.
Grateful. Yeah,
it was the biggest compliment to get from
and
coming from her.
So supportive in like this, not only like this little endeavor, but anything that her camps that or her bands that she's worked with or people that she's worked with as well. Like she's so supportive, and it's such a good like reflection of people in the industry and what they're about. Yeah.
She's incredible. Everyone should go follow her because obviously she keeps busy.
She started putting out vlogs. Yes. So that's one thing that I know, because some time has passed since we've recorded this episode. And now that it's going to be released, Gayle has started to record her own vlogs. And it's like day in the lives. And I told her, I messaged her this like right after I watched like the second one. I was like, Gayle, this honestly feels like I'm hanging out with you. And she's like, that's the biggest compliment because that's what I'm hoping to do. So please, please, please follow her on all socials. Check out her vlogs on YouTube because they're so fucking fun.
Oh, yeah.
It's just like hanging out with her and it's amazing. So,
I don't know if she started them, but she did or if she started it in Australia, but she did it while she was in Australia.
Exactly, yeah.
Those were the first ones that I watched. They were they're so fun. Yeah. She's such a cool person.
She really is. I want to be like her when I grow up.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Same.
Yeah.
But follow her on everything so that you can keep up with her because she keeps busy. She
keeps busy. Fall's coming up.
Yeah.
And
any tour she's on, if she's coming to a city near you, be sure you go because if Gayle's got her hands on a show, it's going to be great.
It's going to be fucking amazing. So yeah. Thank you guys for listening to this episode. We appreciate it.
Yeah. We'll catch you next week.
And I'm excited to
keep this going.
And we have a lot more fun episodes coming.
Oh, we have so much in store.
Yeah. So make sure you're following us on all socials as well. Not only the podcast Beyond the Barricade, but Backing the Barricade is where you'll find all of our info, our Instagram, TikToks,
all the things.
Facebook.
We almost spilled Red Bull. I'm so sorry.
Yeah. You can find us Backing the Barricade on everything. And we're excited to have you guys here.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll catch you next week.
Bye.
Bye.